Walking over to the horned rabbit, Tanaka picked up the monster. Pretty hefty, Tanaka said out loud, noticing that it was significant in size. It was close to double the size of a rabbit that she was used to seeing at zoos. The big difference was the large horn on its head, around a foot in length. If that thing stabbed me, then I'd definitely be done. She shook her head, imagining how it had felt getting penetrated into her abdomen. With the monster in hand, the next thing that Tanaka thought about was what she should do next. Since she didn't have the money for a sack or some kind of container, there wasn't anything to put the rabbit inside of. Standing while trying to figure out the problem, her eyes kept watching for any strange movement. She didn't like the idea of getting stabbed by a different horned rabbit or any other monster in the vicinity. Mulling the problem over in her mind, her eyes soon widened. How could I be so stupid? Tanaka shook her head and sighed. Her eyes looked at the grass around her, connecting the grass with the solution to her problem. Sitting back down on the ground, Tanaka set the monster next to her. Not removing the gauntlets, she grabbed some of the nearby grass and began weaving the vegetation. While working, she thought back to her training where they went over survival techniques. One of them was using grass to create a rope that'd be useful for a wide range of tasks. Who knew that I'd actually have to use such things? She laughed, wondering whether her instructors would be proud of her ingenuity. The process wasn't difficult, though it took her several tries before the feeling returned to her hands about how to make the rope. Her fingers repeated the process, slowly getting slightly faster and faster the more rope she made. While keeping her ears open for any strange sounds, and periodically looking up to see if she could see anything approaching her, Tanaka spent the time making the rope. Though this probably couldn't be sold for anything, I imagine adventurers all across the world are doing something similar, making items to be sold to the store and the auction house. Tanaka continued talking to herself, finding that talking helped to decrease the boredom she felt while making the rope. As time passed, the rope made out of grass began to get longer and longer. Eventually, Tanaka sighed as she finished making the rope. Testing out how sturdy it was, she yanked on it a couple of times. Seems good enough, though I'm sure my instructors could point out areas that I need to improve on. Tanaka chuckled, imagining the instructors pointing at her rope and criticizing her. Grabbing the rabbit and tying it to the rope, Tanaka got up. With how long it was, she had to wrap it up several times and had it on her right shoulder. Looking at the sky, Tanaka saw that the sun had moved a bit, letting her know how much time had passed. From her understanding, the days were just as long as in the real world, so she still had some time before the sun set and it became night. Though no one had said anything about nighttime, Tanaka had the feeling that staying outside past when the sun went down wasn't a good idea. With the rope on her shoulder, she began walking further away from the town, hoping that she'd run into more rabbits. The goal was to catch as many as possible while making sure that she got enough to afford to get a room outside the portal. Thinking about sleeping on a comfortable bed and eating some food made Tanaka pick up her pace, excited to earn more guild points.